Hi there, Natalie. I've got your post up. Oh, here we are, right here. Okay, so I've got your illustrations up right over here, and I just want to address your writing here. Does it go to using a book as a sled? I think that's a good choice. I'm originally from a really snowy area and now live in Georgia. Cool. That's a bring back old childhood memories, right, of sledding. I think I did share that story with you when um, I was attending undergrad at the University of Cincinnati, and there was a big, and forgive me if I'm repeating myself, but there was a big hill in front of the cafeteria, big sledding. Well, it wasn't a sledding hill, but we made it one. And what we would do is we would leave the cafeteria. We would take the cafeteria trays and kind of tuck them in our coats and go out and use the cafeteria trays as sleds. And I got to tell you, man, those things went. It was so dangerous in retrospect when I think about it now. But what is danger to an 18-year-old kid, right? You don't even think about it. So yeah, this will work. I was really, you talk about nostalgia. When I saw this, it really brought back those memories of using the cafeteria trays to sled down those hills. But anyways, okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at your work. Okay, so I wonder one I thought it would be the best aha moment. Absolutely. And that's good. That's good because that's foresight, right? So you're thinking about the narrative. You're thinking in foresight, you're thinking what is going to work. And that, to a very high degree, is what design is about. It's troubleshooting and anticipating problems before you reach that point in a project. So I was really glad to read that. Utilize 12 frames. I think 12 is a good number, right? And you understand the reason why. You don't want to lose your audience with more than 12 frames. 17, 18 frames is a lot. And then less frames, you run the risk of not telling the complete story. So excellent job there. Have them in squares. I may change it. I want to talk about that when I get to the actual illustration. I decided not to include any captions. Okay, now let's go ahead and jump over here. Now let's go. I think it's a good job. I think you've done a really good job. Um, Now, the first frame today is forecast snow. Don't forget, now no text is allowed in this assignment, so you can't put the text inside the TV. You're going to have to figure out a different way to do that. I mean, maybe even just looking out the window, maybe waking up and looking out the window or something. All right, and so he's looking out the window. He's saying, "Okay, all right, I want to sled." So here he's looking out the window and seeing sledding. But I think in this frame, maybe it might be better to do that thought bubble where he's like sitting there and picturing himself sledding. And because right now this could be mistaken for him looking out the window at somebody else sledding. Do you see what I'm saying? So I don't know, and I don't know. I'm not particularly clear at this point if that is what's happening. Is he looking out the window seeing another kid sledding, or is he looking out the window going, "Hey, I want to go sledding"? Do you see what I'm saying? So he goes and he looks for a sled. He looks in the shed, can't find it. Looks in the garage, can't find it. Maybe one of these you can put a question mark and maybe have him going like this or something. And then this is frustration. I love this. Darn it, I can't find it. So he goes back inside and he's sitting there. Maybe at that point is where he gets the aha moment. And this looks like this is the aha moment, the kind of eureka. But maybe here is where he goes, "Hey, wait a second." So he's sitting there bored, maybe with his arms folded. He looks over at the cabinet, and that's when he says, "Wait a second, I got an idea." Then he climbs for the book, right, and then uses it. So it's a good narrative. You've got everything in here. Introduce the setting, the characters, introduce the problem, introduce the potential solutions, or in this case, which isn't important, but that's one step that we could have added, is maybe trying to think of something that might work. But I don't think we need that here. I think this is specifically clear. Then introducing this chosen solution, implementation of the solution, and then final outcome, happy kids sledding, right? So, all right, so the square configuration, I think it's not very engaging. It reads too much like a storyboard. So the viewer's like, okay, frame one, frame two, frame three, as opposed to maybe giving it a more of an organic flow. So I mean, you can place the illustrations inside shapes. You can freeform the illustrations and have them an open relationship with one another. The important thing is that you connect the illustrations, as we saw in the beard example. Remember the lumberjack with the red beard? Each frame was connected with the beard hairs because he was shaving. So there's a connection between the depiction of the connecting frames and the subject matter in the narrative. In this case, I think the obvious solution here would be use snowflakes to connect the frames of the narrative. But you can, use anything you want. And then also think of the shape or maybe their lack of shapes, because layout's going to be just as important as illustration, as well as the clarity of the narrative. Okay, so I hope I've given you enough enough food for thought, so to speak. And if you have any questions at all, please let me know. But let's go ahead and try to employ those conditions and recommendations. And like I said, if you have any questions at all, you want to run something by me before you submit your final, have at it. I'm right here. Okay, very good, great start. Thanks so much for sharing.